What's up, guys? Scavenger Reviews here. And check out the new chair. I don't know if you noticed, but in that last video there wasn't no squeaking. Because I updated my chair, baby. Yes, sir. Anyways, I'm doing a review on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Beginning. The 2006 prequel to the 2000... No, am I getting that right? Hold on, let me look. But, yeah. Yeah, kind of right, probably. Anyways, this is the prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that came out in 2003. Yeah, that is right. Anyways, I really like this one. This one isn't as popular as the other ones, you know, and I know people were kind of like so on like the reboot series franchise as a whole. And I don't know, I like it. I mean, I like it enough to buy this expensive statue. It was like, well, it wasn't that expensive. It was like $50. But I really like this Leatherface, and I actually just watched like a really great video. Alright, I can't find it. And it was this girl talking about talking about Leatherface. Now, specifically from the first movie, not this movie. But a lot of the stuff she was saying is a lot of stuff I've been saying, you know? And that basically protect this man. This is a good man. He just is raised in a bad home. He wouldn't be like that, you know, if it wasn't for his family. Especially this one. Well, both of them. But anyways, this one is Thomas Hewitt. They changed his name from Bubba or Jedediah Sawyer to Thomas Hewitt. And I'm fine with that. I kind of like it because it's a more normal name, you know? I mean, like, it. Well, Bubba Sawyer slash Jedediah Sawyer is a normal name as well, for sure. You know, I mean, you can literally hear my name, I mean, not my name, my accent come out when I say Jedediah Sawyer, you know? But, Thomas Hewitt is just, like, even more normal. It's like a basic name. I don't know. And I kind of like it for that. And I love this movie. So, this movie has a small cast, and what I hate about it is, like, well, not what I hate about it, but what I hate people say is like, oh, it's a prequel, so we already know that, you know, they're all gonna die and stuff like that. And it's like, not necessarily. You know, people can get out or like, you know, be maimed or whatever and whatever. I don't know. But it's got actually a fairly small cast. It just has the family from the first movie slash the next movie, depending on whether you go canonical or release date. And just 4 new characters. I mean, there's like, no, geez, this is a really small cast. Because the only other character in this movie that I can think of, there's like 3 other characters. There's the guy who makes fun of Leatherface in the beginning at the butcher shop. There is the guy who runs the butcher shop, and then there's the cop that the dad kills. So damn, yeah, it's a very small cast. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, I'm just noticing. But anyways, the 4 main characters is you got 2 guys, 2 girls. Can't remember their names at all, so I'm just gonna call them, you know, blonde brother and brunette brother. And brunette brother is like the super cool, been in the military like a million times. Well, not a million times, but like been in the military, and he's trying to convince the blonde brother to join the military. Go fight the war and stuff like that. And I'd like to tell you, like, sit here, literally armchair psychology, and tell you, like, it takes a real, honest, hard look at, the culture of the time and war. And no, it doesn't. It is about as surface level as Family Guy is. Let me just make sure I'm recording. I don't have the camera facing me, so I'm kind of like super worried that I'm just talking to myself. Alright, it's recording. Awesome. You know what I mean? Like, what if because, my phone has, like, a hand thing. Well, is it this one? Yeah, this one has, like, a hand thing where if you, like, hold your hand up, like how I did when I was looking at that thing, but I'll edit that out in a second. Well, not in a second, after the video. Anyways, I didn't want to be talking to myself. And then the two girlfriends of the brothers, which the girlfriends are pretty one note, that definitely is a lacking part of the film. They're pretty one note, they're pretty, just kind of girl one and girl two. They could have definitely given them a lot more character, especially because spoilers. By the way, this video is going to have full spoilers, so if you actually want to watch it, I would seriously recommend checking it out. This was like $30 on eBay. Like, it's not one of the good ones, and it's not one of the ones that's so old or rare that it's really hard to track down or expensive. This was like fucking $3.99 on eBay with like $2 of shipping. Get yourself a copy of it, or it's probably on some streaming. I don't know, HBO Max maybe. I don't know, but it's got a small cast. Yeah, there's two brothers. And then the guy from Full Metal Jacket, what's your name, soldier? I can't think of his name, but of course it doesn't have on the back of the box. I mean, it does have like all the names down there, but I don't know. Can't find it because it has the names of all the like production stuff, but not like how some movies will have like when Thomas played by blank and Bliss character played by this character. Anyways, movie starts out and you've got the two brothers. The one is trying to convince the other to go to war, and he's going along with it begrudgingly. He doesn't want to because he doesn't want to go die, and doesn't believe in the war and stuff like that. And they're just going through Texas to go sign up and stuff like that. And this is what I like about it. The like inciting incident in this movie is them just blasting the fuck through a cow. Like, he's driving down the road, and there's a little bit more that like gets into it, because that's like there's like this thing with like these bikers and stuff like that, and blah blah blah, and it's making them not look at the road, but they just fucking barrel through it. Like, I've seen cows explode before. I know it is possible, but every time you see it in a movie, or God forbid in real life, I've never seen it in real life, thankfully. But anyways, anytime you see it in a movie, it's not the type of gore you're expecting. Like, gore of people, I'm expecting that. But you show me a cow getting fucking bone-doored, because it literally like splits in half like this. I was like, holy shit, because they are driving and they're like, oh shit, a cow. Anyways, and then I can't think of anybody's names. It's been a little while since I watched this. Last time I watched it, I showed it to my brother. But anyways, I'll call him the dad. So the dad is like a police officer, and he comes up and he's being a huge asshole, and he's got fucking eyebrows for days. Hayashi Mishima wishes he had those eyebrows. like folioles. um, excuse me. Anyways, and he takes them back to his house and starts like kind of just torturing them, being mean to them, stuff like that. I'm skipping over a lot of details here, but I'm just giving like a uh, little whatever. And then from there, it kind of goes, just like this character goes here, this character goes here, and the story kind of spreads out, I guess you would call it. Like, I think that's a nice way to say it. The story like starts here, goes here, and then lands at the Hewitt house and spreads out because it basically, the house itself becomes a character, and the families themselves, well, I mean, the family members themselves become characters, obviously, and you get to see like all the different parts of it and stuff like that. And I really like the action. I really like the gore. The gore in this movie is gross, dude. Like, it is fucking nasty. They show you stuff, and that's par for the course for a Texas Chainsaw movie. I knew what I came in, so I'm good for it. And something I really love, and not all of the Chainsaw movies get this right. I'll get to that when I get to Leatherface. I can't stand when chainsaws in movies are treated like swords. That's not how that works. It's a much heavier, lumbering thing, and a sword does not slice. A chainsaw does not slice. A sword slices. A chainsaw saws, as in repetitious serration. It does not slice. And you can't just, like, oh, but with enough force, even the newest Texas Chainsaw, the Netflix one, I think I mentioned it in that video, but if not, here it is. Something that really bugs me is that movie also kinda doesn't quite know how chainsaws work. Where there's this one scene where Leatherface like sticks his chainsaw through like some planks of wood like this, and he's moving it all around, and then he's able to like literally just like curve it around like this, and it's like, have y'all ever cut anything with a chainsaw? I've worked with chainsaws. You can't just 90-degree that sucker in a hunk of wood. You have to like kind of curve it and like do this. Like it's. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not saying I'm one of those like chainsaw sculptors, but I have worked with chainsaws. You can't just, I mean, I realize I'm basically doing the thing that like musicians do when they watch like animated movies, and whether or not they're the animated movie, like they went through the effort of having them actually play the actual chords and stuff like that. I realize I'm doing that, so you know what? I'll get off it. Because this movie does it right. Yeah, like I said, there's a scene, oh my god. And like I was saying, this movie is gross, and this movie is dirty. Like, you can just feel the, like, your party has become victim to dysentery, or whatever the old Oregon Trail meme is. You can feel the dysentery. You can feel the lack of sanitation, like, if anybody made it out of this house, it's like, they're not making it far, it's kind of like how Komodo dragons, Komodo dragons have their mouths that, like, they have so much bacteria in their mouth that even if you get away from a Komodo dragon, the bacteria just kills you anyways because it's so sickly and so gross. That's what this house is, and that's actually kind of a cool metaphor, Like, it obviously wasn't intentional, but that is a cool metaphor. I like that. I'm so clever. I'm so smart. Anyways, because if you get away and you have a wound, that wound's getting fucking infected. This place is gross, I mean, it's not that bad, but it feels gross. Oh my god. And the scene where, like, Leatherface kills the boyfriend, it is like what you came to get, it's like the scene that's like, all right, let's deliver, because he's literally like strapped down to a table, um, and like Leatherface even like kind of hammers in the nails, like strapping him down, so he's really not getting out. You know, even if somebody, like say his girlfriend, was there and like tried to free him, you know, and he cuts his face off, peels it, and then he does one of the grossest things I've ever seen. I mean, it's not even that gross, it's just unexpected, because, like, there's gore that I've seen a million times before. Like, I've seen chainsaws go through people's arms, you know? I've seen people get their faces cut off, I've seen this, I've seen that. But when you give me something creative, something I've never seen before, that hits me. And oh my god, I'm getting like fucking tensed up thinking about it. But when he flays, I'm trying here. When he flays his arm and then does this, and the only way I can describe that is shuck, like you shuck a piece of corn. When he shucks the meat of the guy's arm, and like his arm flesh, when his arm flesh like goes up and like literally like scrunches up, oh my god, it's so gross. It's so gross. Like, it's, again, I've seen, you know, the usual gore, but when you give me something new and creative, ew, but like good ew, like create good stuff, man, good stuff. Props to you. That shit's nasty. So that happens. Spoilers, nobody really makes it out of there alive, you know, like you don't really get a whole lot, but what you do get is a fun ride, because I don't care about the main characters anyways. This is the main character, Leatherface, because the characterization of this guy is really good in this movie. And in the 2003 movie, it's not as good. He's kind of just there and like an angry guy, you know. But in this movie, they doubled down and were like, no, let's give our Leatherface, you know, some character and some Yo, my cat just took a mad shit, dude. I can smell it all the way from the bathroom. Damn. Shit. That shit stinks. Anyways, no, I gotta close that. I gotta close that damn mouth, meow. Okay. Alright. By the way, check out this cologne. It's shaped like a cigar. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, it's made to look like that. It's not just shaped like that. Oh, now it just smells like fancy cat shit. Anyways, the characterization of Leatherface is really good in this film. You know, there we go. I really like how quiet he is, how in his own world he can be. I mean, you see it at the beginning of the movie when he's like chopping up the meat and they tell him to, you know, go home, and he's like, he just keeps working and stuff like that, until he gets pushed, like, to do something, like pushed metaphorically, not literally. But anyways, like, they push him into doing stuff. And I really feel for this guy. Like, you know, this is my hear me out. Like, I can fix him. Because I just feel bad for him, you know? Like, it's just the environment that he was raised in and brought up in, and it's all that he knows, you know? And more to the characterization of how the family treats him. Specifically, I'm only caring about one character, which is the dad. The dad is like kind of nice and sweet and like wholesome to him, and it's kind of weird. Like I mean, it's not much, But, given the fact that it's a Texas Chainsaw movie, I didn't really expect much, anyways. So it's just weird that it's there in the first place. For instance, after the event where Tommy gets, kind of mad and he kills the guy at the butcher shop and stuff like that, the policeman, who is like an actual policeman, comes to the dad and says like, hey, there's been an accident, you need to come out with me. And in like kind of the good kind of dated way, where like the dialogue is like dated but it's like meant to be part of the scene and stuff like that. It's not just like 1980s racial stereotypes, you know what I mean? Anyways, the cop calls Thomas, I can't say that word because YouTube, but he calls him and the dad like steps up for him and is like, hey, he might be a little different, but he's not that, and he just needs someone to help him out with things. Or I can't remember quite what he says, but he like steps up for him, and he's like, hey, don't call my boy that. And that being said, he's not even technically his boy. In the movie, he's adopted because the wife of the dad like works at that same butcher shop 20 years ago, finds him and then takes him home. So technically he's an adopted son and he's treating him not good, that's like my dad. My dad, he's my stepdad and I fucking love that man. Like I honestly sometimes will forget we're not actually blood related because he's just that good a guy. Alright, that cat shit smell has gone away, so that's good. She's funky, dude. She's funky. But anyways, there's another moment in the movie where it was just kind of like unnecessarily sweet and kind. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just like the dad is like just actually supportive of him. And he's like nice to Thomas the whole movie. He still like gives him orders and stuff like that, but like, I'm a southern boy, I know this is Texas, but I'm a southern boy. Your dad giving you orders is just kind of a normal thing. Your dad tells you to do something, you hop the fuck up and do it. You don't do this in a minute shit. You don't do this like, oh, whatever, dad, I'll get to, you hop the fuck up and do it when your dad tells you to do something, which Tommy does, but after he kills the guy the corn shuck on guy, still such a good scene. After he kills the guy, he puts on his face and has like the new hair and stuff like that. And the dad looks at him and he's like, I like your face, or I like your new look or whatever. Like, oh, he's supportive of his interests. What a guy. To be supportive of your son, what a guy. I just need that kind of support in my life. Dad, when I flag man's face and put it on me, will you? And, for the rest of it, that's kind of like the biggest, major plot story beats. And, this movie is definitely more of a, it's a ride movie, a roller coaster movie. It's not really about the before or the after. You're not going to be left asking all these questions about, the deeper meanings of life, or the deeper, sentiments and morals of it. No. And beforehand, you're not really the characters. I mean, I can't even remember any of their names. Like the main four characters, like the victims, you're not really supposed to, get super invested. Oh, real quick before I go, I do want to bring up the chainsaw scene that I liked. So there is a really fucked scene where the biker from the cow scene, the biker is in the Hewitt house. Just watch the movie, I'm not explaining it. And he gets knocked over and he falls on the chainsaw and he's like kind of knocked out, yeah, because he gets hit in the head and he's knocked out and he falls on the chainsaw like this, like with his body, Hold on, come here, Shadow the Hedgehog. Sorry, boy. Anyways, he falls like this, and Thomas like starts up the chainsaw, and it like kind of struggles starting up at first because it's got all this resistance, and then it starts, and you can hear like it cutting through him, and you can hear all of the blood like kind of start to like gurgle, and like the little bits of flesh getting stuck in the gears, and like you know, it's so fucking good. And it like takes a second to actually saw through him. It's not a sword. He doesn't just you know, right through him, because that's stupid. That's not how chainsaws work. And a lot of the chainsaw movies, you'd be surprised, don't fucking know how a chainsaw works. It's really annoying. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my review. I give it a go watch it out of 10. You know, definitely good. Don't expect to. This it's not gonna change your life. You know, don't. It's not gonna give you a new outlook. It's not even going to be your favorite chainsaw movie. Maybe, I don't know. Everybody's favorite chainsaw movie seems to be the first one. You know, because people are unoriginal and can only say one thing. You know, but I think this would be my favorite chainsaw movie. I don't know. That's a tough call, because there's some that I like enjoy like a lot more than others, and then there's some that I think that are better than others. You know, like a bad movie can still be an enjoyable movie, and a good movie can still be a boring movie. You know what I mean? But watch it, give it your own opinion, get it for like $4 on eBay, you know, or watch it for free on whatever streaming service you have. Mama, come here. Yeah. I've come to make you an offer you can't refuse. Meow, meow, meow. There you go. Now you're more visible. Anyways, yeah. I've been Scavenger Reviews. This is meow meow. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Alright, get down. I'm walking here.